Hey there, this is Justin Wilcox. I'm one of the founders of TeachingEntrepreneurship.org, where our mission is to make entrepreneurship engaging to all students. Along those lines, in this video, we're going to talk about how to create interactive digital worksheets. And the first tool I want to show you is Google Docs. So here I've got a plain vanilla Google Doc, and this will be our first example of a digital worksheet. Now, for this scenario, let's assume we're teaching a lesson on leveraging failure. So we want our students to fill out a failure resume, and we're going to have our students research some entrepreneurs, describe their biggest failures and how they influence their ultimate success. So we're going to give them some entrepreneurs to go research: Oprah, Vera Wang, Elon Musk, and then after that they're going to write down 2 of their own personal failures and then what our students learned about their own failures. So this is a rough example on how we might be able to create a digital worksheet. And this is it. The worksheet's created. Now all we need to do is figure out how to share it to our students in a way that they each get their own editable copy. To do that, click Share, and then get the shareable link. Once you do that, you're going to have this link down here. Click Copy, and then what you're going to do is open up a new browser tab, and I'm going to paste it in here. I'll try and zoom in so you can see it. All right, so right here, if you go down to the end, you'll see how it says Edit ? If you change this edit to copy, and by the way, everything after the question mark you don't really need, and then copy this link here. So I'm just going to right click and I'm going to go down to, I'm going to select all, and I'm going to copy this and send that to your students. This is what they'll see. When they click enter, they'll get a screen that prompts them to make a copy of the failure resume. So when they click make a copy, it's going to take all the text that was in the original, move it to their version of the document, and now they can type in what they need to. And you'll see that while this is in my copy, it's not in the original. So each student will get their own version, and then to submit this to you or to ask you questions, they can just basically copy this link and then send it to you via email, put it in the chat of your Zoom session, upload it to your learning management system, whatever they need to do. Another great scenario to use these Google Docs digital worksheets are for reflections after experiences. One of the ways that we use this in our curriculum is to reflect after the Marshmallow Challenge. Now, this is an exercise that I'm sure many of you are familiar with, where students build out towers as tall as they can out of spaghetti, tape, string with a marshmallow on top. And as you can see here, the vast majority of towers end up crumbling. And that's fun. It's an interactive exercise. It's a great icebreaker. But more than that, it's an opportunity to teach a really important lesson about entrepreneurship. And that happens when you compare your students' results with other groups of people who've done this exercise. Now, business students on average, they build towers that are around 10 inches tall, where architects build towers that are around 40 inches tall. But what's really interesting is that there's a group of people out there who build towers that are on average about 30 inches tall. And that group of people are kindergartners. And when you can compare these results for your students and show them pictures of what kindergartners do, it really drives home this point. The point being that in business processes, the ones that our students are used to being taught and practicing, there's a lot of planning that goes on. You spend the bulk of your time there, then you spend some time executing and ultimately launch, and then there's often a big failure. Whereas kindergartners, they take a more iterative approach where they, the very first thing they do is stick a marshmallow on top of a piece of spaghetti and see what happens and kind of play around with it. When it fails, they make some changes immediately and just keep iterating and iterating and iterating. And that's obviously, the lesson that we want students to walk away from this experience with. And to do that, we use this business plan versus business experiments digital worksheet, where a fictitious friend has emailed your student asking them to help write a business plan. And it's your student's job to write a reply to their friend explaining the difference between business plans and business experiments, leveraging their experience with the Marshmallow Tower. So Google Docs is a great place to get started with digital worksheets, but you can take it a step further by actually switching over and using Google Slides. With Google Slides, you can create your own digital business model canvases. You can also create worksheets that help students with idea generation and opportunity assessment. You can even create detailed interview scripts that will guide your students through the customer discovery process. So let me show you how this process works. I've got a blank Google Slides presentation here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select everything and I'm going to delete it. So select all, delete. Then I'm going to play around with the shapes tool. And for this example, I'm just going to create the business model canvas again. It'll be a real crude version that I do real quickly, but just to show you how it works, I'm going to draw a box. I'm going to make its fill transparent. Then I'm going to start drawing some lines in here where we know they should go. If I hold down Shift when I'm drawing lines, it'll help me draw straighter lines. And then I'm just going to keep drawing some more. So this one, we're going to sort of cut this into 5 sections here, if we can. And I'm just going to select these two, copy and paste. And there we go. Proportions aren't correct, but that's okay. We won't worry too much about it. Then we're going to draw in some lines here. To divide, I'll copy and paste this one. And then I've just got one more to go down here in the bottom. Boom. Okay, there's our basic outline of a business model canvas. All right, now what you want to do is you actually want to put a barrier between anything you've drawn here and where you want students to enter their text, because it's really easy for people to go in and accidentally move something around in your worksheet, which you don't want to do. So what you're going to do is draw another box here. This one's going to be the entire size of your slide. Okay. Then you're going to put the fill at transparent, and you're going to turn off the border as well. Okay, so now I've got an empty box. And what this will do is this will help prevent people, anytime they try and click on anything, they select this entire box. And if they move anything, they're moving the entire box as opposed to any of these individual pieces. And that's okay if they move the box. At the end of the day, it's not that big a deal. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to make sure that if they start typing in here accidentally, that it doesn't just start overflowing into any of your other boxes here. So to do that, all you do is go to this alignment piece, put the alignment down at the bottom. So if they start typing anything, it shows up at the bottom first off. Then what you do is you change the color of the text to white. So now if they start typing anything, it's really hard to see unless they select it. And then the last thing you can do is just set the font size to 1. And now if they type something in here, it's super tiny and hard to see unless they type something in that's spelled wrong and then they get that little wavy line. All right, so now we have basically a protected Google worksheet that people won't be easy to mess up. Now we need to put it in places for people to type. So here again, I'm just going to draw some more boxes. I'm going to draw a box here for people to enter in. This is the partner section of the canvas. Again, I'm going to set the fill to transparent. I'm going to turn off the border, and then by default, every box you create in Google Slides can be edited. I'm going to change this font to be more like a handwritten font to give it that feel. I'm also going to change the alignment so it goes up to the top. And then maybe I'll set the color to be slightly different here. Okay, and so now I can tell what people actually write in here for their partners. And then you just take this and you copy. Put this one here, and then we'll do one more. This one is for prop, and then another shortcut, Control D in Slides will automatically duplicate your selection, and then we'll do here for customers. Now you can do the same thing for the rest of the boxes, and you've got yourself a basic business model canvas. Now, here's what it looks like after a little bit of formatting. And of course, you can do any range of different worksheets. So we've obviously got our canvas in here. We also have one for solution ideation. So in our curriculum, we do a lot of design thinking exercises, and we actually create these post-it note style boxes that students can write in as if they were writing on post-it notes. Then we've got a revenue modeling worksheet, experiment design worksheet, MVP design. We've got literally dozens of these different worksheets out here. So sky's the limit in terms of what you're able to create in terms of worksheets using Google Slides. And of course, to share them out, you can use the exact same process that you used before with the Google Docs. You're going to go into sharing, create a shareable link, copy that link, paste. Then we're going to go in and we're going to change this edit to copy. And now when your students go to the link, they'll get invited to make a copy of this business model canvas worksheet. So give this technique a shot and see if it increases engagement in your class. And definitely shoot me an email, justin@teachinge.org, if you have any questions or you come up with cool use cases for this. Last thing I'll mention, if you want to check out the comprehensive set of digital worksheets that are available inside the Experiential Entrepreneurship Curriculum, request a preview at teachinge.org. Have a good one.